What's up guys, welcome back to the Piston Show. I'm Keshi Dillon, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing the upcoming Proton X50. Yes, the new Proton X50. It has dominated social media, it has dominated the content for content producers, and it's been discussed extensively in forums as well, both good and bad. Well, the Proton X50 is a sort of a darling of the Malaysian automotive industry, isn't it? It has been the best-selling B-segment SUV for 5 consecutive years with over 134,000 units delivered by Proton. Now that's quite admirable. It's obviously a very hot car, hugely in demand. So obviously with the new model just around the corner, it's going to get everybody to sit up and actually take a look at the upcoming new Proton X50. So yes, it is a big deal. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about why I'm excited about the new X50. I've seen the car, I've poked it, I've prodded it, I've touched it, I've gotten comfortable in it, and it is, simply said, quite amazing. I'm quite excited about the car. I'm also going to be discussing why I think it's going to continue to be Malaysia's #1 best-selling B-segment SUV. And I'm also going to be addressing some of the negative comments that people have been talking about on social media. So stick around. So I'm going to start off this video by addressing some of the negative comments that people have had about the new Proton X50. And I cannot believe some of the things that people are saying because, come on lah, the car is not even out yet. Only a very selected few people have actually seen this car. I mean, how can you be so negative about something that you have not actually seen? Anyway, starting off with a comment that says, dah 2025 baru bagi Apple CarPlay and Android Auto sebagai standard. Patut dari dulu lagi, bukan baru nak kejar pesaing. Dude, come on. You know, it seems like Proton is doomed if they do and doomed if they do not. If I remember correctly, this was one of the key market sentiments, market feedback, is that buyers wanted Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And now that Proton is giving it, you're going to be criticizing them for actually listening to the market. So I find this quite ridiculous as well. It's good that the new Proton X50 actually comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto from the get-go. This, in my opinion, has already perfected the Proton X50 package. So for the next comment, belakang cantik okey dah, tapi depan buruk sungguh rupanya, macam kepala bana. Apa punya design pun tak tahu. Bang, relax lah bang. Dah tengok kereta ke belum? Sekadar tengok gambar je mana cukup. Nak kena tengok lah face to face, baru ngam. Guys, I gotta say this, that the car looks good. Okay, I always believe that looks and design is subjective. Some like it, some may not like it. But the evolution of the Proton X50 is substantial. And to me, when I first saw the car, I was like, wow, this is a good-looking car. I mean, Proton has obviously done a good job at increasing its aesthetic appeal of the X50. And just trust me on this, it's a good-looking car. For me, the sharper edges represent a correct design evolution. It still looks like an X50. It's still unmistakably X50, yet you can immediately tell that this is the new X50. So you have to keep in mind that the design upgrade cannot be so extreme that you do not recognize it as an X50 anymore. After I saw the car, you can still see that this is an X50, except that it looks a lot better than before. So, on to the third one. Interior is cut-cost version. Seat old model, no physical button. Some looks it's as minimalist, but if you look at it in detail, I guess that's what it means. If you're in detail, that it's cheaper material using. So I'm guessing that this guy is saying that once you start looking into the details, you'll notice that the materials look cheap. I hope that you have actually seen the car and touched it and such and gotten to know it intimately before you post this comment, because it's not fair to judge a car just from photos, guys. Yes, there's not as many physical buttons as before, but isn't that the design language that most car makers are using these days? Mazda just introduced the CX-5 a couple of days ago, about 5 days ago. And the interior of that new CX-5 is almost devoid of any physical buttons. And Mazda reasoned that the reason why they are using that is because of market sentiments, market demands. Buyers want cars without physical buttons these days. I mean, I am a fan of physical buttons as well, but I can tell you this, that I've driven hundreds of cars in my entire career, and eventually, the one thing that I have learned, eventually you will get used to it. And the thing about infotainment screens and your softwares these days is that you can program shortcuts. So these are things that let you easily access key controls such as volume, air conditioning controls, and such. It's just a matter of getting used to it. And to the fact that you pointed that it's cheaper material, no, bro, no. I suggest that you wait until you see the car. On to the next comment. Well, I'm just going to make this quick. This guy says, whole Malaysia after-sales service so lousy. Dude, I have an X70. I have an X70 parked at home. Never had problems. So even during servicing, or I can't remember what it was, it's something that needed to be looked into, and it was done very quickly. So the thing about after-sales service is that no two after-sales service centers are going to be alike. So if you're not happy with one after-sales service center, let Proton know and then move on to another. I have found an after-sales service center in Ipoh that I'm really happy with. So I suggest that you shop around. No two after-sales service centers are going to be the same. As I said, if you're not happy with one, let Proton know through the official complaint centers, complaint channels and such, and move on and find another service center that you're actually quite happy with. Okay, for my next comment, I've read this. This guy says, pulangkan gear knob, nak syadu main gear knob. Okay bang, I memang faham, memang susah nak tukar benda-benda yang kita dah biasa dengan, kan? So sometimes we are creatures of habit. So it's very difficult to reorientate our brains. Bila dah biasa guna gear knob sebelah kiri ni, memang susah nak guna gear knob, column mounted gear knob, gear shifter, some say. But I assure you this, because I have owned a car with a column-mounted gear shifter before, and you will get used to it. So there are a couple of comments over here that also say that that there is a fear that you might mistake the gear knob for the indicator toggle and such. But I can assure you that it does not accidentally shift into reverse. How do I know this? Well, it has happened to me before lah. But because I drive so many cars, that sometimes reorientating my brain from a gear shifter to column-mounted gear shifter, indicator on the right, indicator on the left, and such. So sometimes I have to rewire my brain a couple of times a day or in a week and such. So memang kadang-kadang, memang betul lah, you will probably face this, but I can assure you that it makes a lot of sense. Bayangkan ni, that you need to quickly get out of a space. You need to quickly drive out of a tight space, right? So the column-mounted gear shifter makes it easy to turn, shift. It's just a lot more easier than having to do this. So, and the good thing about having a column-mounted gear shifter is that it frees up space at the center console. So you can actually have more space, you can have charge pads, you can have cup holders and such. The Proton has obviously gone in the direction of having charge pads. So that's not a bad thing. You can actually all of us carry devices these days, so you can actually put your device over there and have it charge on the move. Makes a lot of sense. You'll get used to it, trust me with this. So on my last comment, before I move on to things that I actually like about this car, I would like to address this comment. Kenapa lah tak ada manual transmission version? I don't know how to address this. Come on, can you show me one Mercedes-Benz that comes with a manual shifter? Can you show me one Honda that comes with a manual shifter, a Toyota besides the GRs, besides the Type Rs that come with manual shifters? So you have to understand that these are everyday cars. These are not high-performance cars. The X50 is far from a high-performance car. And besides, it never came with the manual transmission in the first place. Never. So why leave comments like this? This is an example of leaving a comment just for the sake of leaving a comment. How many Proton X50s do you think Proton will sell if they offer a manual transmission? And when was the last time you drove a manual transmission anyway? A lot of us do not. So it does not make sense for Proton to sell an X50 with a manual transmission simply because the cost of R&D, they will have to redo the entire R&D process. They'll have to go through the entire crash test process again because the gearbox is going to be completely different. So crash test, more cost for them. And then on top of that is the sales figures. How many X50s are they going to sell if they offer it with a manual transmission? So no, totally irrelevant comment over here. So, and this basically wraps up. There are a bunch of other comments over here as well. I have like 50 comments, negative comments. Some are good, of course. Like this guy says over here, dapat tab sekali kat dashboard. Mantap lah Proton. Okay, I understand. See, there's good comments as well. But the negative comments, yeah, let's hold back on that a little bit, guys. So moving on. Let's just first talk about why the X50 has been so popular in the first place. I think that the X50 has been really popular in the first place is because it is a natural progression from entry-level cars such as the Iris, the Saga and such. So imagine you have just graduated or your parents have just bought you a new car and you've met a girl and you've started a family and such and you have to work hard for your income. So you will need space. You will need a car that is safe for your family. You will need a car that is nice to drive, good looks, and it offers all of the safety features, all of the comforts that you would want in a car. And it also offers you a higher sitting position because SUVs are all the rage since the 90s, right? So the X50 represents the natural progression for the car buyers simply because of these reasons. Space, maybe the X70 is too big, the X90 is way too big. And in that sense, I think the X50 offers all of the things that you would want in an SUV without having to break the bank. And besides, the previous generation X50 was also a good-looking machine, there's no doubt about it. Otherwise, how would it sell 134,000 units of the previous generation X50? So I think that the short summary of the car is that it was comfortable, it was nice to drive, it was spacious, and it wasn't too big, not that big. So imagine if there was only you and your wife and 2 kids, it would be fine. If it was only you with your girlfriend or boyfriend and perhaps your parents, and occasionally need to pick up your parents and balik kampung and such, it would be fine. So I think that the X50 had a lot of great features to offer, and it was a natural progression for car buyers. So in that sense, the new X50 is going to be a darling once again among car buyers. So if you've noticed that in this video, I've continuously called the upcoming Proton X50 a new Proton X50. But in actual fact, I think the term all new X50 is warranted simply because that it has a number of updates. Usually when a facelift is introduced, you get new bumpers, once in a while you get new lights, you perhaps get new wheels, new software, maybe a bigger infotainment screen. But the all-new Proton X50 has a bunch of new updates. In fact, the entire interior has been updated. There's a lot of features that have been updated, hence why I think using the term all new Proton X50 is quite warranted. But what is new? There's a bunch of updates that are new, but I'm just going to focus on 5 key updates. So update number 1, and keep in mind that the objective of this video is to argue why I think that the all new Proton X50 is going to continue to be Malaysia's best-selling B-segment SUV, and also why I'm quite excited about it. So in point number 1, it is the first car in Malaysia to come with Bahasa Melayu voice recognition. So you see, Proton has been quite proud about this voice commands. If you remember when the first generation X70 was first introduced, the voice command that everybody was talking about was, "Hey Proton," and then they'll probably say, "Put down the windows," or "Open the sunroof," or "I'm feeling cold," or something like that. So the "Hey Proton" thing was so popular that when the first generation X70 was introduced, that I remember that it was being showcased to then Prime Minister, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember who the Prime Minister was, but I remember a video of Proton executives showing the Prime Minister this voice recognition. So the fact that the all-new Proton X50 comes with Bahasa Melayu voice recognition is a big, big deal. It shows that Proton is still very much a national car maker, and it has infused a Malaysian identity into the car. So having Bahasa Melayu voice recognition, you can say stuff like, "Hey Proton, buka tingkap." Or you can say things like, "Hey Proton, tukar radio station," or stuff like that. Anyway, you can give it Bahasa Melayu voice prompts and it will respond. I've tried it out and it is quite amazing. I think the fact that it comes with Bahasa Melayu voice recognition will make the market quite excited as well. And the second reason why I think that the all-new Proton X50 is going to continue to be so popular is the fact that it comes with a 14.6-inch infotainment system. Now, you and me may not agree with this, but the younger buyers love big screens, right? So if you are probably in your 30s or 40s or 50s, you may not agree with this. But guys, we are not the target market. So the 14.6-inch infotainment screen is one of the largest in the business. So for this segment, the 14.6-inch screen is quite huge. And the fact that it now comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto from the get-go just shows that Proton is listening to market feedback. And with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you can easily access your favorite navigation applications as well as tune in to all your favorite music. The third point is the fact that it comes with a semi-transparent sun visor. Now this is fantastic. I think it's quite brilliant how this has been infused into the all-new X50. I've never seen a semi-transparent sun visor in any other car. In fact, these are things that you would expect European car makers to think of, or car makers like Volvo. But this has been actually infused into the all-new X50, and I think Proton deserves a lot of credit for this. I think it's a brilliant, brilliant idea considering our raging sun here in Malaysia. I wear sunglasses a lot, particularly when I'm driving. I cannot tahan when it's too bright outside. But the thing is, sometimes I forget to bring my sunglasses. And by the way, I think sunglasses are a safety feature as well. So when it's too bright, putting on your sunglasses just helps you see better, the glare and such. But anyway, having a semi-transparent sun visor actually works like you're putting on shades. So you put it down and it doesn't blind, it doesn't like obscure your vision. It just darkens everything, just like you would, like you're wearing sunglasses, which for me is brilliant. I tried it out and I was blown away. So for the fourth point is the power plant of the car. Now this has been a huge talking point among Proton fanboys and discussions on social media and such. And everybody's talking about the 4-cylinder engine. But guys, I can neither confirm nor deny that it is a triple-cylinder or a 4-cylinder engine. But if you do your research, you'll probably be able to confirm this. All I can say is that until the fat lady sings, until the covers come off and until the official spec sheet is released, everything is just speculation for now. But does it come with a 4-cylinder engine? I'll let you do your research. Anyway, it produces 181 PS and 290 Newton meters of torque, one of the highest in its class, acceleration to 100 kilometers per hour, just over 7 seconds. Fantastic. And the fact that it comes with a 7-speed dual clutch transmission, it's always been a smooth shifting gearbox, hasn't it? Now with this new power plant, more powerful, some say smoother even. I haven't driven the car. Timothy, my colleague, actually drove the car around Proton's test track. I will add a link to his video somewhere in the description box below so you can check that out. So anyway, power plant is going to be a huge talking point, and I think a lot of people are going to be excited with what Proton has to unveil quite soon. So guys, I just found out after shooting this video that the upcoming Proton X50 will be powered by a 4-cylinder engine for sure. I just have to say this though, it does not necessarily mean that 4-cylinder engines are far more superior than 3-cylinder engines. Both have their benefits. While there is a perception that most cylinders are better, engines with fewer cylinders are often smaller, thus lighter, and have fuel-saving benefits. So, will the 4-cylinder engine benefit the X50 more than the current 3-cylinder engine? I will only be able to tell after driving the car on the road. So, I will hold my final opinion till then. And for my final point is the premium, some say EV-inspired interior. Now, I know a lot of the comments are saying minimalistic, lack of buttons and such, but I can almost assure you that as soon as you sit in the new all-new Proton X50, it's going to blow you away simply because it is a very nice interior. The soft touch panels provide it with a touch of luxury. It's quite nice, trust me on this. And then after that, the dual charge pads make traveling a lot more easier. Now, I do not know about you, but I'm forgetting my cables all the time, right? I'll forget my cables in my car, I'll jump into another car, I'll forget my smart tag, so all this happens lah, right? So having charge pads actually makes a lot of sense. The last thing you want is to run out of battery anywhere, right? So charge pads, good thing. Column mounted gear shifter makes a lot of sense, okay? Simply because it allows the redesign of the center console to put in charge pads, as I said earlier through this video. So having it mounted on the column on the steering column makes a lot of sense, guys. So we need to be optimistic about this. We need to approach this with a positive mindset, and perhaps only judge it after you have driven it. I have driven plenty of cars with column mounted gear shifters, and I've never once accidentally shifted into reverse or park or any other gear while the car was in motion. So the thing about column mounted gear shifters is that they are electronically activated. So if it's electronically activated, that means there has to be some sort of a brain somewhere in the form of an ECU or a chip somewhere that actually calculates the wheel speed and such, and it will actually take into consideration your gearing demands. So if you're moving ahead at 100 kilometers per hour and suddenly you ask for reverse, that thing is going to be smart enough and say, hey, you're moving at 100 kilometers per hour and suddenly you want to go into reverse, you mad or what? So it's going to not allow you to do that. So there are a lot of onboard systems that will override some of the silly accidental inputs. Now, besides that, I think the interior is going to be quite impressive. I like the panoramic roof, I like the overall spaciousness of the car, I like the comfort levels, and I think you will like it as well. So, in conclusion, guys, I think I've listed out a couple of good reasons why I'm excited about the all-new Proton X50 and why I think it's going to continue to dominate Malaysia's B segment SUV market. So it has consecutively dominated it for the past 5 years, and the updates that it has to offer will ensure that the X50 continues to remain not only fresh but relevant to by answering all of the market demands. I really like the fact that it comes with Apple CarPlay right from the get-go. It will elevate it to an all-new level, one that I think will put it on par and perhaps even surpass a couple of some foreign competitors in more ways than just one. Previously, Proton relied on the fact that it was a national car maker and such, but right now it does not rely on that anymore. It actually provides features, design, technologies that put it far ahead of certain foreign competitors. And I also have to mention the fact that Proton offers 153 3S and 4S service centers nationwide. So it's not just, you're not just buying a car from a car maker that is coming into the market and assuring you that they're launching more and more service centers nationwide and such. You're buying from a car maker that is established, that already has 153 service centers nationwide. So you don't have to wait until this car maker builds its service centers. So in that sense, I think the X50 is going to be quite exciting. In that sense, I think it's going to continue to be number one B segment SUV, and I think we should all be excited about the all-new Proton X50. I, for one, certainly am.